Welcome back to Eliances Heroes, where heroes in business align. To be part of our super community and find out more about Eliances, visit www.Eliances.com. Now, back to our super host, David Cogan, founder of Eliances.
That's right. I mean, we started off the show with the founder of Sports Clips, over a $600 million company, and we just had on the founder of Big Ass Fans, who also sold his company for $500 million. Incredible. And by the way, thank you for the feedback we continue to have when we interviewed Richard Branson. So make sure you go to Eliances.com. That's Eliances.com. It is the only place where entrepreneurs align. And with us, we have Barry Mione, who could be reached at SaveDay.com. All right, Barry, let's dive right in. First of all, you created a company. We're going to go back in time here. You created a company that was bought by E-Trade for $700 million. What company was that?
Yeah, I did. And thanks for the intro, and appreciate being on here too, David. So way back in the 90s at the time, mid-90s, I guess you would say, when, online brokerage was really super new. And the fat cat brokers were making a ton of money, charging very high fees just to do a trade, $60, $70 a trade. I was a co-founder in the late 90s of a company called DLJdirect. And DLJdirect was one of the first online brokers. And, we had a super phenomenal time. We IPO'd the company in 1999. At a height, we had about 2,000 employees and sold it to E-Trade in 2005.
Why not just retire on the beach for the rest of your life?
I wish life was that easy. The way it turns out, really, David, is, as I mentioned, that was a lot of fun. And what I really enjoyed about that time was I was able to create something that didn't exist. We really were on the frontier of democratizing, which is a very, used word these days, but democratizing online brokerage and making it accessible and available to everyone in the United States. And what I'm doing now with SaveDay is very, very similar to that, where we're making the ability for every employee in the United States to have a 401k free of charge.
Tell us how that works, though. So, okay, you said the magic word, free. How is that possible?
Yeah, that's a really great point. So the way we make it possible, and to take another half step back here, is the reason why this is a big deal and very near and dear to my heart is that 80% of small and medium-sized businesses in the United States don't even offer a retirement plan, let alone a 401k plan to their employees. So we're really talking about tens of millions of employees in the United States right now that aren't going to be able to retire with dignity or anything else. So when I saw that type of data a few years ago, I was frankly shocked, even being in the business this long, that this is really existing, because you hear in the media, what's going on with 401ks, and it seems like everyone has one, and that's not true. So I created SaveDay, and what I wanted to do is eliminate the number one barrier, and that's cost, because the reason why these companies don't offer 401k are the excessive high fees, and that's why we offer 401ks that are free of charge to the employer.
Now, how many employees does someone have to have in order to then sign up? Is it the employer that's signing up for it, or the employee? How does that part work? And then how many? What's the qualifications?
So any employer can sign up. So we have clients that range from solo 401ks. They could be social workers. They could be, it could be a dentist. It could be a doctor. We have clients all the way up to 250 and a few hundred clients, the types of businesses. So we don't have any minimum. We don't have any barrier relative to the number of employees. And that's our specialty, right? Which is because we want these small businesses to have that opportunity to offer a plan that's free to the employer and a really, really small fee that's charged, assessed to the employee's assets.
You are disrupting the entire 401k industry. You realize that?
Yep.
And And you know what also is disrupting the world? The Eliances Heroes show, because I get the opportunity to interview heroes like you, Barry Mione, who is the founder and CEO of SaveDay. You could reach him at SaveDay.com because you're listening to me, David Cogan, host of the Eliances Heroes show. Make sure you go to Eliances.com. That's ELIANCES.com. It is the only place where entrepreneurs align. What you created, how did this idea, though, even come to be? Like, where was it born? Because this is a major disruption in the industry.
It was. And, you know, it's a really great question, too, David, because after seeing the success I did early on with DLJdirect, you know, I have my dad. And my dad, you know, he worked his whole life. And he was a blue-collar guy, worked as a shoe salesman his whole life. But unfortunately, he was never offered the opportunity to save for his retirement. And that, to me, was really, really sad because when he retired, he went bankrupt. And I sat with my father in bankruptcy court, and I said to myself, like, how can I let this happen? How is this possible in America that someone retires, they work their whole life, and they have nothing saved for their retirement? And that's my passion and my mission, honestly, here, David, is to make sure that that doesn't happen again, that that doesn't repeat itself, that we have the opportunity for every American to be able to invest in something. And it's not just the senior managers, it's not just the executives, it's your frontline barista, it's your frontline clerk that saves $5, $10 per paycheck so they can have something, because even the government knows right now we're in a retirement crisis, and who knows if Social Security will even be around in a few years.
Now, are people able to go on to SaveDay.com and pick the type of funds that they want to invest in? Tell us a little bit about more of that.
Sure. So what we do is another differentiator we have is we take on all that fiduciary responsibility. So what happens is an employer will sign up, and automatically invitations will be sent out to all the employees to come and open their account, their 401k account with SaveDay. Once they do that, they're given a really simple 5-question questionnaire that measures their tolerance for risk. And based on that questionnaire, we create a very low management fee portfolio for the clients that's pretty much a set it and forget it based on their risk tolerance. And if they want to change it in the future, if they feel like they're more risk averse or less risk averse, they can do so as well too. And our portfolios actually perform very well relative to the marketplace, which is nice to see. Performance can never be guaranteed, but that's always a plus.
So we've only got about a minute and a half left, though, Barry. What do you think? And I mean, again, you create this, you've done so much in your career. What do you think's the best way and the secrets for children to be able to, you know, parents to instill in children about saving for the future instead of spending now, saving for the future? The best way to go about doing that?
You know, I had the opportunity and the blessing to be able to actually speak to a middle school earlier in the year about 401k. And I was racking my brains as how can you get kids excited about a boring retirement product, right? So what I did was I walked in there and I said, all right, guys, how many of you want to be millionaires when you grow up? And every single hand was raised. I want to do it, you know? So I started to diagram out there's the secret sauce. This is how you become a millionaire. Don't worry about it right now. You know, you're 12, 13, 14 years old. But when you graduate university, guess what? You take your coffee and you downsize it one size, and you do that for a whole month, and you put away $4 per day. Guess what? You invest that, you're going to be a millionaire automatically by the time you retire. If for some reason you decide to wait until you stay in mom and dad's house for a few more years and you don't start investing until you're 40, you put away $21 a day, and guess what? You're still going to retire a millionaire. Right. So the whole point being is that when you're a child, you always have the dream of usually doing something, being something big. And that's where it starts. And that's where the education starts. And I was able to, thankfully, get these kids excited about 401k and excited about investing and understand it's all within their grasp.
I got a couple more quick questions for you that's coming in from our listeners. One is what's the youngest, or is there the youngest or oldest age that someone can get involved in using SaveDay, using 401k? That's
really a super question. The youngest is 18. The oldest is that there really isn't an age at this point. And there is some legislation that's passing that's actually going to increase the capability for people to save beyond the age of 70 and a half. The only thing we ask for is that you're employed.
And then also, too, is how long do they need to keep the money in? Is there a timeline of that regarding it?
Yeah, I mean, there's no timeline. And the beauty of the 401k product is it pretty much is a set it and forget it. And the neat thing is when they forget it and they realize 6 months, a year and a half later what they have, they're really surprised to see the way that it's growing, and it's growing nicely. And it really creates a great discipline because every 2 weeks you're contributing to your future. You're contributing to your retirement.
Oh, I got to tell you, Barry, it's incredible what you've created. You're helping so many people now, and employers being able to offer this and do it in a simple and easy way instead of going through the whole complex thing as setting up a whole 401k for their employees. You know what? That's a hero. That's right. Make sure you go to SaveDay.com. This has been David Cogan with Eliances.